All right, look, I'm not the kind of guy who usually says that this book changed my life, but this one honestly hit me hard. It's called The Millionaire Fast Lane, and I wish I've read this 10 years ago. Now, before I get into the actual book and what I've learned from it, just let me explain why this had such an impact on me the way it did. For the last 15 years of my career, I've been doing what most people will call the responsible path. Designing, consulting, taking contract after contract, basically just trying to get to the next level. And every year, I will tell myself that if I just work harder, if I just get better at what I do, things will eventually get easier. But the reality was, I was still trading time for money. Every hour, every day, everything depended on me constantly showing up. And last year, when life got really hard for me and my family, just everything collapsed at the exact same time. And I realized something that I never fully admitted to myself. And that is that if your income depends entirely on you being present, you're not actually in control. You're just surviving. And this book explains exactly why that happens. In the book, DeMarco, the author, talks about three roads people usually follow in life. And once you understand them, you just can't unsee it. The first one is the sidewalk. This is basically the survival mode. Living day to day, reacting to life with no real plan or direction. This is where most people actually get stuck because life keeps them busy, like too busy to even stop and question it. This is the biggest trap most people fall into. Then there's the slow lane, the one society actually praises. The safe path, the get a good job, save a little, invest in index funds, get 8% a year, compound your investments, retire at 65. And as I was reading this part, I was like, shit, this is actually me. It feels responsible initially, but the reality is that you're postponing your life in the hope that one day you're gonna be able to enjoy it. And that will be decades from now if you're healthy and you live a long life. And then you have the fast lane. And this is where everything clicked for me. The fast lane is actually where your income is not tied to your time anymore. It's where you build things like products, systems, tools, content, communities, basically anything that can help hundreds, if not thousands of people, instead of just one client or one person at a time. And after 15 years of experience, I realized that I wasn't doing any of that. And that was the saddest part. Then there's this line in the book that had a very deep impact on me, which says, value your time poorly and you will be poor, which I interpreted as, if you don't own your time, you don't own your life. And it hit me because when my family needed me the most, it didn't matter how good I was at design. It didn't matter how much money I could make. What it mattered is being present. And the truth is, I couldn't be. That was the moment when everything just shifted for me because money was no longer my main goal. Freedom was. Just getting back my time. Then the book talks about something called the law of affection, which basically says your wealth is equal to the value you create multiplied by how many people you help. Not your degree, not your CV, and not your hourly rate. Just the value times scale. And suddenly my entire career just made sense. As designers or consultants, we help one person at a time, which is fine. It's great even if you have like a good day rate, but it doesn't scale. That's the problem. But when you build templates, courses, products, content, communities, you help hundreds, maybe thousands. And that's when, that ceiling just finally disappears. Then this book introduces something called the 5 commandments of a fast lane business. And this part actually explains why so many of my past ideas never worked. The first commandment is need. You have to solve a real problem. Something that, people actually want a solution for right now. The second one is entry. There needs to be some kind of barrier or friction. Because if you don't have that, and if anyone can copy your idea in 5 minutes, you're basically competing with millions of people, and you don't want to do that. The third one is control. Don't build your entire life on a platform you don't own. Let's say, for example, the algorithm changes and you lose everything. That's not being in control. That's why all the content that I'm producing, I'm just putting it on my website, so that whatever happens with all the platforms, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it is, I will be in control of the content and everything that I put there. The fourth one is skill. Like, helping more people shouldn't require more of your time. If your growth requires more hours, that's not skill. It's just basically more work. And the fifth one is time. Eventually, your time needs to detach from your daily efforts. You need to think about something that you build once and then it continues to help people long after you stop working on it. And when I read this, it explained why my past work felt like running on a freaking treadmill. I had no skill, no leverage, and pretty much everything depended entirely on my time. That's exactly why I'm documenting my journey now. That's why I'm building templates or digital products. That's why I'm learning YouTube the proper way, because for the first time in my life, the math makes sense. And honestly, if I don't change this path now that I'm on, I already know where it will lead, because I've seen the numbers, and that's not the future I want for me and my family. So yeah, look, I'm not obsessed with money. That's not the goal here, and that's not the goal of this channel. What I am obsessed with is creating freedom and having the ability to control how I want to spend my time and who I want to spend my time with. And I know that a lot of you feel the exact same way. So please, if you haven't read this book, just pick it up. It will change your life, I promise. There's no affiliate link. This video is not sponsored in any way. I'm just here as a friend that has your best interest. And honestly, all I want is for you to succeed. And if you want to walk this journey with me, you are more than welcome here. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.